In the meantime, some questions have reached me, so I just start with the first question. Someone from Germany asks, is there a relationship between panic attacks and trauma? So, yeah, there's absolutely a relationship. But first, what is important is to realize that our body doesn't really do strange things or wrong things, or in a way get sick. This is just our perspective. My perspective is that something like symptoms or sickness or let's say difficult circumstances in general don't exist. All this has to be seen as a whole, because the nervous system itself wants to heal. It wants to heal itself, and thus it creates symptoms, circumstances and so on in the hope that something gets completed. Well, this sounds very abstract, but it is like that. It is so that if experiences in the past have been so overwhelming that the organism was not able to integrate them, what happens is a split in the consciousness. So the organism sacrifices its wholeness, the experience of wholeness, in order to survive and to stay in a state where the organism can act. And these split off parts have to be integrated later on, but it is away, it is not consciously available. So the deeper parts of the nervous system have to create circumstances and symptoms in order to bring this stuff up. So everything what we experience is an attempt of the nervous system to become whole again. So the idea that we just have to fix something or to heal a symptom, or that we just have to remove a sickness and so on, doesn't really work, because the underlying problem is not solved. For example, it is the same with everything. If you remove a depression, for example, or if you remove money problems, no matter what it is, what I see is that these symptoms are not the problem. Furthermore, for example, if I do energy healing with somebody, and it is possible to just remove a symptom, it is possible. And what I see then, almost all of the time, the person gets a panic attack, because the system needs this symptom. It is a whole package, and I can't just remove one part. This is dangerous. So I do this less and less in single cases. I still do energy work, but it doesn't address the core problem most of the time, because symptoms are on the surface, far away from the core. So, and the same is with panic attacks. We can't just remove panic attacks, because there's a reason why this happens. It must have been, in a way, it must make sense for the organism. So that there must be a reason, and we have to look at the whole. So from our perspective as a grown-up, maybe it doesn't make sense. So in our daily life, suddenly the body gets crazy and we experience something which we call a panic attack. But for the organism, it makes sense. There is a reason why this happens. And if we look closely what a panic attack is, it is in a way the situation that the body is confronted with life threat and at the same time an inability to act. So the body can neither run away nor fight. So this is the state of a panic attack. It is actually a biological state of the autonomous nervous system. It is a maximum of arousal of energy. The organism provides a maximum of energy for flight or fight. So this is basically an activation. And if this energy can be acted out, for example, if you run away, if you run for your life, or if you are in a fight, in a life-death struggle, fight with an enemy, then you act out this energy. So within a fight or within a flight, you don't feel fear or panic. This is not possible because the energy flows. Panic is something, and fear in general also, is only possible if this energy is blocked, if it cannot be acted out. So this is the foundation to understand what panic attack is. So it is nothing wrong in the first place. It is a biological function which makes sense. So somehow what happens is that something gets activated which is from the past. Because if you are in daily life and you get a panic attack, you are not in a life threat. So what is happening? The body wants to complete something. And if a panic attack is possible, this is actually a sign that the defense mechanism has been weakened so much that something of the subconscious unresolved stuff can reach the consciousness. So it's actually something positive. Now the problem is we want to get rid of that. Nobody likes panic attacks. But it doesn't work like that. What you have to do is to provide a channel for this energy. And if a panic attack happens and how to describe that, the intention, if you are not aware what it is actually, the intention is to get more and more into a freeze state. You freeze, you don't move your body, everything gets narrow. So this is the tendency of the body because that was the actual situation. Life threat with no possibility to escape or to fight. So the body tends to get into a shutdown state, into a freeze. So what you have to do is you have to work against that, because if there's no life threat, it doesn't make sense biological to go in a freeze state. So if a panic attack comes, what you have to do is, one part is to start acting. Just do something. And ideally, the best thing is to do something with the body. Moving the body, start talking with somebody, call someone on the telephone, no matter what, just give this energy a channel, a possibility to be acted out. So you can press your body, you can start reading a book, you can make plans for the future, you can go for a walk or do some physical exercises. This works very good. Because then the body, it is all about the body. It is nothing psychologically. The body needs a channel for this energy, and if you do that, the panic will be reduced. You cannot have a panic attack and at the same time doing physical exercise. If you are acting, it is not possible to have a panic attack. Panic attack is only possible if you go into a freeze state. Yeah. So this is the first thing you can do to avoid that. Then the second thing is, if a panic attack happens from the brain region, it means that the cortical part, the grown-up part, the conscious part, the prefrontal cortex gets dimmed down, and the lower, more animal-like brain regions get more and more in control. And this is also something you have to work against, because if your frontal cortex gets offline, then you are lost. Then you have no possibility to handle and to deal with the situation. So you have to work against this, and this is done with mental activity. If you intensively learn something, or you concentrate on a book, on mental stuff, this helps to keep this frontal cortex online, and this again helps that the lower brain regions don't get the control, which reduces the panic symptoms. So these two parts. And of course, social context is always a good way also to calm down the autonomous nervous system. So these are some ideas to deal with the situation. So physical exercise, giving the energy a channel, keeping the frontal cortex online, and social contact if possible. So and this is the relation to trauma. Panic attack means what you experience there is not something new. What you experience in a panic attack is nothing new. You have experienced that before, but it has not been completely lived. It had been pressed away, or it is not part of the memory. So panic attack basically means reliving a traumatic situation with means life threat without the possibility to act, to do something. And with all this knowledge, I hope it makes a little bit easier, the whole stuff. And ideally, of course, you need trauma therapy, where this high energy gets released out of your system in a secure and safe and controlled way. But what I described is something you can do everywhere. If the therapist is not available, of course, you need some ways to deal with that. And under this panic attack, under this energy, there's the actual experience, what you have not yet integrated. So, I hope you can see the whole stuff in a new perspective. It is part of a whole scenario of the nervous system, which tries to heal itself, and it actually is a sign that healing is on the way, because if panic attack happens, something of the suppressed parts reach the consciousness. So that's my perspective on panic attacks and trauma, which I personally know too, how this is.